What is happening, great people? It's Zangieff, your Russian mate from Russia, and I just reached Saratov railway station. After traveling about 700 kilometers and spending about 15 hours in the train, I'm finally here. This video is about Engels, and you know what is in common between Saratov and Engels? The mighty Volga river, which we are right now approaching. Because of the fog, you can't even see the edge of the river. There is the big bridge, about 3 kilometers long. There is where it ends. And there, by the way, is the city of Engels, where we are going to. I really have a feeling right now as if I'm at the sea, because waves, actually, they're not that high. Yeah, but they're not still. And by the way, some seagulls. Oh, and ducks. Yeah, those who watch me for a while, you know that I love ducks. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to feed them with today, but anyway, I hope they are doing just fine. So now it's high time for me to meet up with my family, whom I didn't see for 1.5 months already. And finally, I will begin the Engels part of this video. Кто это? Иди к папе. Мне кажется, Привет. Guys, she's so shy. Yeah, I thought that she would run to me and hug me, but she was so shy, да? Помаши ручкой. I would like to begin the part about Engels from a bit of history. Right now, by the way, I'm in the geographical center of the town of Engels, standing in front of the monument dedicated to the person after which the town was named Engels, Friedrich Engels. Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx were co-founders of so-called Marxism political ideology. That's why back in 1931, the name of one of the ideologists was used as the name of the town. However, initially, the town was built in 1747, and it was actually a settlement, Pokrovskaya. Back in 1747, Empress Elizabeth has started the salt mining on the lake of Elton, not far from here. Well, in terms of Russian territory. And so many settlements were founded alongside the Volga River so that to maintain the logistics of the salt. The horses were not strong enough to pull the heavy salt. That's why the oxen or bullocks were used for these purposes. And you can see one as a symbol of the town carrying salt on its back. Right now I'm heading down the main street of the town of Engels, and this is Tillman Street, named after Ernst Tillman, the leader of the German communists back in the 20th century. I'm sure this is the main street of the town because it is quite wide and long, and it actually has a lot of small shops. By the way, this is quite an interesting detail applicable for the provincial places. Unlike modern Moscow, you have a lot of small shops on the ground floor, and they have very bright advertisements next to their entrances. All are different, all are massive, bringing the endless variety of views while you are walking. By the way, let's make a quick reroute because I want to show you a small detail that is applicable within the whole town. I guess that, yeah, it is applicable here as well. And these are big and long pipes above the ground. Guys, I see them in every yard. Many people wonder what are these for, and actually the answer is quite simple. These are the pipes with the hot water. There are several reasons why the pipes are not underground. First of all, back in the days they were made out of metal. I'm not sure, maybe iron. And the problem was that with years the iron became rusty and the pipes got broken, especially in some swampy districts with the underground water. And here we come to the second reason. The process of repairing of these pipes, of course, is easier and less expensive if they are above the ground, not underground. In big cities like Moscow, you would not see something like this. However, I believe back in the days the situation was quite the same. I believe the explanation is the amount of budget. Now we in Moscow have an opportunity to have better pipes underground, while in the regions the situation remains not changing. Кися. Кися, кися. Кися. Не бойся. I'm here already for a couple of days, by the way, and I've been in this town before that, but only now do I take a look at all the details that surround me, all this lifestyle, because I'm making this video and I'm trying to understand how the things work here. You know, overall I have some kind of a cultural experience right now and I am happy about it, but at the same time, I'm not joking, right now I have some tears because the way many people live here. I am really sorry about the kids. Because like I myself, I started from the bottom and I do wish all the kids, to have an opportunity to live a better life. And you know, the thing is that many people make videos about the provincial life in Russia. I wanted to do the one myself. I'm doing it right now. But for me right now, it's not about the places. I am about to show you some more places, but like right now, for me, it's more about the feelings, at least right now at this point. You know, after saying these words, I guess that there will be some comments to the video, like, now you as a Muscovite see that the Russian government does nothing to the regions, or like, all the cash flows from the regions to Moscow. I'm showing you only the part of the town right now, so you see some lack of refurbishment, but in fact there are a lot of places here developing throughout the last years, and these are not my thoughts, but this is something that people said to me, like starting from some general stuff like the roads, for example. Yes, you might have seen some bad roads, but believe me, if you ask any person living here, he or she would not deny that this improvement has taken place. As well, nowadays many things are done for the kids. And some yards don't have proper playgrounds or playgrounds at all. But once again, the process begins from the public places like parks. And that's why overall it's kind of a dilemma here. Because on the one hand, there is progress and many things changed. But on the same time, how much time would it take overall? I think that the local kids or the kids of their kids will definitely have a better way of life here than right now, but what to do with the people who live here now? However, once again, if we're remote back 20 years, the lifestyle back then was a lot worse than now. So everything can be assessed only in comparison. And right now I just reached the center of the town of Engels, and if you were watching any other videos about the provincial towns of Russia, you know how to identify that this is the center. First of all, there should be a monument of Vladimir Lenin, but there can be many of this in the town, so as well in front of it there should be the Lenin's Square. It is quite empty here now, but that is really understandable because it is quite cool. And secondly, it's just no big events. Usually such squares can be used as a place to hold the victory parades, but these usually take place in May, or maybe some public concerts, for which you can see the scene. And here is another memorial dedicated to Vladimir Lenin, by the way, accompanied by two other guys that I have already mentioned, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. I don't know why, but I feel like this place is a great one to try to take some interviews. I have never in my life taken interviews, but I would like to talk with some locals.
Считаете ли вы, что в последние годы что-то в Энгельсе меняется к лучшему? Если да, то что именно?
Дороги стали делать.
Дороги?
Естественно, дороги лучше улучшились. Чище стало намного в городе. Возможностей больше, по крайней мере, чем было до этого.
Есть ли какие-то изменения в лучшую сторону в развитии города Энгельс в последние годы? Если да, то в чем именно они выражаются?
Я думаю, что нет.
Если говорить про, например, детские площадки, облагораживание парков.
Детские площадки облагораживания парков, да, есть.
Я
Это
также-
облагородили парк, власти, да, вкладывают сейчас деньги в это. Развитие дорог, да, и ремонтируются также придомовые территории, да, это происходит.
Вообще внешний вид города, благоустройство, порядок, чистота. Стараются везде создать парки, реставрируют клумбы, лавочки, урны, все это дорожки обновляют. Не узнать, конечно. Я говорю, я бы даже на Саратов не променяла. Хотя там, конечно, много чего. И набережные, и центральные части города прекрасные. Но это только центральный. А наш город же он маленький. И его благоустроить проще, естественно, чем Саратов.
I hope that you enjoyed those interviews. This was my first time, and I think that this video should be made standalone so that to capture more opinions and details. And right now, by the way, I entered the city park, which is located next to the square of Lenin, and guys, it is massive. I'm not talking about the length of the slides, or the height of some other things, but I believe that here, if a lot of children would come at the same time, everybody would find a place to have fun at. Unfortunately, of course, it is now autumn, and this place would look more beautiful if it was summer. But anyway, it doesn't stop people to come here and play with kids. And I think this is exactly what the parents whom I interviewed mentioned. Because of course, these playgrounds were not built like in the Soviet times or whatever. These improvements took place in the recent years, and getting back to me thinking about children living here, so here is another side. So some things are made for children, and I believe that this is not the limit. And getting back to the victory parade, here is as well the monument of eternal fire. I think that it can be translated like this, and this is present like in almost every city. And besides, there is some military stuff that is used by the children as playground. Gradually we reached the Volga River once again to have a pleasure taking a look at the scenery. So peaceful here. And fresh air. And it is really quiet, unlike summertime when here are a lot of people swimming. Not here actually, but there is a city beach where just a lot of people can be present at the same time. But right now, it's so calm. The embankment in Engels is really long, and it can take you up to several hours to reach one of its ends. But believe me, this would definitely be a great walk for you, especially in the summertime. Right now it's cool, but when I was here in summer, definitely the feelings were a lot better. There are many people who want to visit Russia in the winter times when it is snowy. This is quite understandable, but my advice would be to visit such places as Moscow or St. Pete to see some palaces or to see how the New Year is celebrated. But as for all other places, I guess summer is the best time to visit. So right now, guys, we are not in the city anymore. We are in the Engels district, to be precise, 20 kilometers away from the city, and we came here to see the monument to Yuri Gagarin, the first ever the first ever astronaut. And the museum here is located for a reason, because this is the exact place where he landed back in 1961. And to be precise, actually, this is not the only landing spot that is located here. Actually, the landing process of Yuri Gagarin and Yuri Gagarin's capsule, these are two different processes, because back in the time you had to eject from the capsule and land yourself using the parachute. So right now we are visiting the place where Yuri Gagarin himself has landed, and right 3 kilometers away from here is the place of the capsule's landing. Unfortunately, due to the lockdown, the museum is closed. You may see some rocket models, some astronaut costumes, but unfortunately we're not allowed to see this, but at least there are some things to see outside here as well. By the way, this one is dedicated to Valentina Tereshkova. She is the first ever woman who has been to the space. Of course, this place was a sightseeing place for already several decades. A small museum building that you just saw, it was built just recently. But initially, back in 1960s, they built the monument here that looks like a rocket taking off. And this is, by the way, the small copy of the monument that we have in Moscow, in VDNH Park. We have quite exactly the same there, but a lot higher. Here you may see the statue of Yuri Gagarin himself, some flowers, and as well, there is the sign that says that here is buried the capsule with the ground from the birthplace of Yuri Gagarin. Never heard about this tradition, but anyway. Overall, it is an interesting experience for me to visit this place. Unfortunately, without visiting the museum. And of course, I do believe that the surroundings look a lot more colorful if you are visiting it in summer. And now let's go to the place where the capsule has landed. Давай ручку. Пойдем. And so we are almost there. Just left the car on the parking lot, and now we need to walk for about several hundred meters. And what really amazes me is that here are no signs. Like, you need to understand where you need to go yourself, and you are surrounded with fields and nothing else. Well, the absence of signs, I suppose, can be easily explained. As you may see here, many things are under construction: the roads, the benches. So probably after they finish this process, yes, everything will be in place. Despite cool weather and the wind, actually I like being here. Right now we haven't reached the destination yet, but take a look at the views from here. It's really nice. And by the way, we are almost there. This sign says it's the place of landing of this thing. Yeah, so as I said before, it's written here that Yuri Gagarin has ejected before landing, and the difference between the place of landing of the capsule and Yuri Gagarin himself is 4 kilometers. I have no idea whether this is the real capsule or this is just the copy, the model. Yeah, let's take a look. Interesting. Don't touch. Deadly. This side? Oh, yeah. More interesting from this side. Well, actually, it is quite spacious. I do believe that there was something else inside, I guess.
There was the seat. So he was seated and he ejected with the seat.
Oh, yeah. The seat.
It came on this like flat things. Just shoot it out.
Do you have any idea, by the way, whether it is the real capsule or this is just a copy? Because there is no sign here, unfortunately.
I think it should be a copy. I think, at least my dad thinks so. So he says it doesn't really look like a real thing. I think that the real thing might be in a museum in Moscow somewhere.
Or in another place.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue the video, and as Yuri Gagarin once said, поехали. And right now, guys, I'm approaching one of the biggest grocery shops here in the city of Engels, and it's called the Lenta. By the way, this is not the original place. This is just an affiliate of the national key account called Lenta. I don't think that there will be a big difference between this shop and the ones that we have in Moscow. So yeah, overall it looks quite the same. A lot of cash desks, a lot of people, and a lot of food. Yeah, let's explore some. I have just faced an interesting situation. Unfortunately, they don't have any baskets for the groceries. They only have carts. Usually in the shops it's vice versa. Yeah, so there are no carts, but there are a lot of baskets. And guys, there are so many strange looks at myself now, because not only am I filming with this device that I have, as well probably the fact that I'm speaking English, everybody is just looking. Overall, I wouldn't say that here is a big difference if we are talking about, first of all, the variety of products that is present here. Secondly, if we are talking about the prices. So more or less these are quite the same as we have in Moscow. Here right now in the national key account, and this means that they have some kind of the common policy. If we are talking about the prices, the same discounts can be applied both in the Far East and the Far West at the same time. But if we are talking about the markets, the regular markets where the regular people sell their own groceries, of course, the prices can be so different from the ones we have in Moscow. Talking about the markets, behind me is one of the few markets in the Engels town. We are not going to compare the prices because actually I'm not much aware of them. So what I said before was actually something that my mother-in-law told me. But let me show you how everything looks inside. Right now we are going to show you the school where my wife was studying back in the days. For how many years have you been studying there?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. So in Russia it's from 1st grade to 11th grade. But back in the days you could skip the 4th grade. So you went from the 3rd to the 5th. And you didn't need to to pass any exams or anything. Everybody did this. So Basically, I studied till the 11th grade, but it was only 10 years.
Right now, by the way, we are walking through the territory of another school. Does this school look like your school, or is it bigger or smaller?
3 or 4 times bigger than my school, because my school was very little. So it was meant to be like only a school for first to third grades, but then they cancelled the project of building a bigger one for elder children. So it just stayed like this. It's meant for only 300 people. And the school that we passed is like for maybe 2,000, something like that.
By the way, these two schools are standing right next to each other, so we are already on the territory of the school that we need. I would say that this building actually doesn't look like school, at least the ones that we have in Moscow, in terms of size. First of all, so I would say that this is at least like kindergarten. Yeah,
Yeah.
But once again, you were studying here from the first grade till the 10th, no, till 11th.
Yeah.
Did this school have at the same time all the grades, like the first, second, third,
Yeah.
studying at the same time?
Yeah, but we had like on the two groups of people for each grade, and around like 20 students, 20 pupils in each class. So in total it was like maybe 300, 400 students at the same time.
Well, actually, I wouldn't even feed 400 people here, but if you say so.
Well, it's three-story building, so it is a little bit bigger on the other side. So it's only like 1 story to 2 stories here. These 2 are the windows to my class, to the room where we basically studied most of the time. And to the left, these like 4 windows are the physical activity
Hall.
hall, physical activity hall. And the furthest down there is the canteen. Do you know what this thing is for?
I don't know, maybe to feed horses, or maybe for flowers.
Actually, we used it to wash our shoes a little bit before we went back into school. So it's like has a little bit of sharp ends, and you can pour water in it, and then you can just wash your shoes a little bit. Well, at least this is what we used it for. Maybe somebody else used it for different purposes. Actually, I hadn't been here for like 15 years or so. And back in the days, it was like the best school in town, the newest school, all the equipment, everything was like super new. And now it looks a little bit abandoned, actually. I'm pretty sure that some schools that were older than this school has been renovated since then, and they have like much better equipment and everything. And this school looks a little bit sad. Well, I guess in the end of the day, it's not what's around you that matters, but what's inside. So the quality of education was the most important thing.
After trying to start, after 5 minutes of trying to film only myself, it seems like I lost the battle. So let me try to finish this video with following words. Well, I think that you saw everything yourself. Yeah, definitely there are a lot of areas for improvement. However, you cannot deny that this place has been developing throughout the last years. And of course, some improvements can be more evident for particular people. For example, a person without a car wouldn't see a difference in the roads quality, and the person without kids wouldn't notice any improvements at the playgrounds. The quality of life here is of course lower than in the big cities, but I suppose this is not the specifics of Russia. I think that this is just how the society works. So if you take small places in any country, I believe that the processes will work differently from the big cities. Yeah, and probably the quality of like anything would be worse. Of course, by no means am I trying to justify the condition of everything that takes place here. Yeah, and of course a lot of things need to be improved, and I hope that these improvements will take place in the nearest years. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a comment. And if you would want to see more videos about Russia, please subscribe to the channel. By the way, right now I'm sitting in the Soviet apartment, and I made a video tour about it, so please check the link in the description. If you would want to support me and my family, you can see the links in the description as well. At this point, that's it. It was Zangieff, your Russian mate from Russia. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and goodbye.